Yes, mate, how's it going? My name's Lee, and welcome back to the FPL Punk YouTube channel, where we try to dominate FPL one game week at a time. Today, I'm going to run for my team selection for game week 3, and then look at a defender, midfielder, and forward transfer that I'm currently considering. If you enjoy FPL, please subscribe to the channel down below for more FPL content. Anyway, let's rock and roll.
Be strong.
Right, mates, first up, we've got the goalkeeper and the defence. I've still got Dean Henderson in goal. I've still got his backup, Remy Matthews, on the bench. Away to Chelsea, not the greatest game. I don't think Chelsea look good right now, so this isn't as bad a game as I thought it was going to be. There's a chance that Palace could keep a clean sheet. I think he might get save points in this, but I am more hopeful of a clean sheet heading to this than I was at the start of the season, just because Chelsea don't look as good as I thought they were going to. The issue Palace have got now is that they're losing a few key players. And Anderson has gone to Fulham. Mark Gay looks like he might go up to Newcastle. They're losing two of their best defenders, in my opinion. Don't know how that's going to affect them. They've still got some good fullbacks. Let's just kind of see how they get on. They did put up some impressive defensive data towards the back end of the season. Whether they can continue that remains to be seen. But right now, Dean Henderson goal, very happy with it. First up in defence, we've got Trent away to Man United. It's not the greatest defensive fixture for this, but we're buying Trent for those attacking returns, and he can return in any single game. And whether that's away to Man United, away to Man City, at home to Ipswich, it doesn't really matter. There's always a potential for Trent to return, and that's the reason why he's in the team, hoping to get those goal involvements. Same as Gabriel, probably not the greatest fixture on paper at home to Brighton, but he's such a threat from set pieces that there's always a chance that he might get involved in the goals. Arsenal probably one of the best defensive teams in the league. There's always a chance that they might keep a clean sheet. So I think you have to play Arsenal defenders in any single game, whether that's away to Man City. They can still keep a clean sheet in that game. And so because of that, I'm going to start Gabriel. And last but not least, we have got Leif Davis. Really absolutely buzzing to be playing this guy. The reason why I started with him, the reason why I bought him, home to Fulham. Really excited to kind of see how he gets on. He started with two really tough games in Liverpool and Man City. Now I think is where we're going to start seeing the real Ipswich. I think this is where their season begins in game week 3. I think if you're looking at any Ipswich players at all, I don't hate any of them right now. Whether that's Omari Hutchinson, Greaves, the central defender, Leif Davis, any of the Sackers, whether Armando Broya transfer eventually goes through and he nails down that starting spot, 5.5 million. Don't mind any of those players at all. Really excited to kind of see how Ipswich get on. They've got a nice run now of about 8 games, maybe 1 or 2 reasonably tough games in there as well, but they've got a nice little stretch of games now where I think we can actually start to see the real Ipswich. I have got Barker on the bench, looks like he's going to go off on loan, and I've also got Pedro Porro on the bench. I just think going away to Newcastle is a tougher game than being at home, and I don't think he offers a more consistent attacking threat as opposed to someone like a Trent. That's the reason why I've gone Trent over Porro. I am considering a couple of transfers. The reason why I'm quite hesitant to do it is because it's the international break after game week 3, and we have got a little gap where we don't know what's going to happen. I think it's better to roll your transfer if you can, rather than use them for this. I will go through some of the players I am considering for game week 3, but I think if you can roll, that's the most powerful play, and roll that into game week 4. What do you think of my defence? Leave a comment down below if you think I'm missing anybody. Onto the midfield, and first up, Ben Brereton Diaz. I just love owning this guy. I don't care if he returns. I don't care what he does. I love his beard. I love his kind of his little antics. Kind of like what he got up to against Newcastle and stuff. I just love all that kind of side of the game. I think it's hilarious. I think it's great. Away to Brentford. I think it's a decent game for Southampton. I think it probably suits both teams relatively well. Where Brentford don't want a lot of the ball, I think Southampton will keep a lot of the ball. I can see this being a scoring game. If you've got someone like an Mbeumo, I'd definitely be playing him in this type of game. But I think this is a really good game for someone like a Ben Brereton Diaz, and I'm hopeful to get some returns in this. Diogo Jota, similar to Trent in that he's probably not a great defensive game, but I think there's going to be goals in this game. We tend to be quite open. We're not great defensively, and I think Liverpool might be able to exploit that. And if they do kind of get in and around there, then Jota, if he keeps his spot, will be on the end of chances and is one of the better finishers in the league, in my opinion. And I can see him putting something away, like if a chance comes along his way with a decent amount of XG, I can see him bagging that. I think it'd be a good game. I think it'd be quite an entertaining game. I think there'll be goals in it, and I think you just need to play the players that you've got. If you've got a Bruno, if you've got a Rashford or Garnacho, I'd be playing all of those. If you've got a Salah, definitely be playing him. Saka home to Brighton. I think this is a great game for Saka, and he's my main captaincy shout for game week 3. There's not someone who comes as close as it did with the previous weeks, but Saka is at home to Brighton. They don't have a proper left back right now. For some reason, they're going to loan out Barco and play Hinchelwood, who I think is right-footed, which might help them because Saka's going to cut inside. So that might be quite an interesting matchup, but Saka can go on the outside as well. I think he's such a dangerous player at all times in all phases of the game. I think this is just such a great fixture for Saka. He's already returned in the league so far. I think that will continue, and that's the reason why he's the main captain's shout for this game week for me. And Nkunku's a bit of a strange one. I'm recording this video really early. I saw him play in Europe last night, where he got about an hour. I think he'll play in game week 2. And depending on that, he might play in Palace in game week 3. There might be something there, and if there kind of was, I might be forced into a transfer that I don't really want to do right now. But I'm not really sure right now. If I get any kind of confirmation or any kind of confidence that he is going to play, I'm just going to start him. I'm just going to play him, even if he comes off the bench for half an hour. I think it's better than making a transfer right now. I think the best play is to roll. Not fully happy with my midfield. If like there are a couple of things I wish I could change. Like I think Jota could be someone better. I think Nkunku could be someone better. I think if you've got someone like an Eze and an Mbumo in either one of those slots, I think you're pretty much onto a winner there, to be honest with you. Overall, can't complain about the midfield because it's a decision I made at the start of the season. Is what it is. Just got to roll with it and see what happens. Onto the forward line, and it's the same as last week. Haaland, Muniz, Isak. I think they've all got pretty good games. Don't think any of them are particularly hard. West Ham away for Haaland. I think West Ham will be good at some point. I think they're still kind of bedding in. Manager's still kind of getting used to them. The players are still kind of gelling. I think once that clicks for West Ham, I think they will become quite a solid defensive unit. Whether it starts in game week 3, I'm not entirely sure. Haaland is such a threat. City are such a good team. They brought Gundogan back as well, who's going to get involved in that attacking play once again. So I think he's just going to slip seamlessly back into the team. I don't think I bet it's going to feel like he's been injured all season and last season, and then he's just come back and he's just going to come into it, click straight away, start straight away, and start returning straight away. Muniz away to Ipswich. I know he's kind of matching up against Davis. It is what it is with one of those. I didn't particularly buy Davis for the clean sheet potential. He got 18 assists in the Championship last season. That's the reason why you're looking at these types of players. I didn't really buy any of my defenders with any kind of clean sheet potential in mind. And even like Gabriel, even though Arsenal have got a good defense, I'm trying to target those headers and that set piece threat. But Muniz, I just really like him as a player. And even though he didn't do much against United, I think he'll have a decent game week this week up against Ipswich. And whether Ipswich can adapt to the league by this point remains to be seen. I think it's a good game for them, and I'm more than happy playing him. Isak at home to Spurs. I think this will be a really good game, actually. Spurs against Newcastle. You can see it being any kind of score except a 0-0. I can see it being 5-0 Newcastle. I can see it being 4-0 Spurs. I can see it being 2-2, 3-3. I can see it just being an absolutely crazy game, end to end. Both teams kind of going in for it. If you've got any Spurs players, if you've got any Newcastle players, I'd just be playing them. The reason why I'm not playing Powell is I just don't think he's better than any of my selections right now. Right, mate. So I've selected 3 players here: a defender, a midfielder, and a forward as my main transfer targets for game week 3. In the defender I've selected is Ezri Konsa, Aston Villa defender, 4.5 million, 12.6% owned. He's going to play Leicester away in game week 3. He's only predicted to get 3.1 points. I think it's a little bit harsh. The reason why I've selected a couple of Villa players here is that they've got a decent little run of games here now, where I think we could start targeting them and start to look at them as potential options. And that's the reason why I've selected Ezri Konsa. The player that I'd probably consider taking out is someone like a Porro, and from that I could take Konsa and Porro down to Konsa, and then I could upgrade someone like an Nkunku up to Eze, which is my midfielder option, and he's so highly owned at 32.4%. Only 7 million. I think it's an absolute bargain. He's playing at home to Brentford, and he's expected to get 6.2 points in game week 3, and I think he's such a solid option. He got he should have scored in game week 1 with a free kick, and he got unfairly ruled out. And he's just so talismanic for them. He's on basically everything: penalties, set pieces, everything. Love him as an option, and probably someone that I wish I'd started with, even though he hasn't done too well so far. I think we are going to all own him at some point. And in the forward position that I am thinking about bringing in is Ollie Watkins. So if I did Pedro Porro down to an Ezri Konsa, that would give me enough money to take Isak up to Ollie Watkins, 9 million forward. I'm seeing a lot of people selling right now. His price might even drop before game week, and before the deadline of game week 3, and he might drop to like an 8.8, 8.9. He's still owned by 32.8%, which is huge. Away to Leicester, only predicted to get 5.3 points. A little bit disrespectful for him, considering he was one of the best players and one of the most prolific players last year when he didn't have penalties. I think he might even have penalties this year as well. They're the 3 players that I am thinking about bringing in for game week 3. Do you think I'm missing anybody? Leave a comment down below. Right, mates, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. So today I went through my team selection for game week 3. Highlighted my main captain's shout, which is obviously Saka, and then looked at 3 different transfer targets: a defender, a midfielder, and a forward. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and leave a comment down below. Have a good day. Good luck for game week 3. Peace and love.